is so exciting.
What's going on, people, and welcome back to News for the Science, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. My name is Ronnie, and I've got some Marvel Spider-Man 2 updates to share with you all, and we're going to be discussing Marvel Spider-Man 2, the new shocking Wolverine trailer that Insomniac Games just decided to drop on us out of nowhere, and perhaps a connected universe. I can't wait to get into this, but before we do that, I want you all to click on that subscribe button, like, comment, and click on the bell notification so you all can stay up to date with the latest of my videos. I upload videos daily, I do live streams twice a week. Join my Discord, invitation link in the description. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Links to those are in the description box below, along with my Twitch channel link. Without further ado, let's get into this. So, it's fair to say that Insomniac Games is filled with hardworking people. No, scratch that. That's an understatement. Insomniac Games is filled with people capable of creating miracles. Demigods at work here making happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I swear at this point, if Insomniac Games told me that you're going to buy our games 10 times over, I'd easily comply without hesitation. Insomniac Games is a game developing studio that we can trust. Recently at the PlayStation Showcase 2021, best showcase ever, Insomniac Games came in here and said, "Surprise, motherfucker. You think Spider-Man is all we're going to be working on?" Can you imagine that this concept of a solo Wolverine game came from tons of conversations while working on other games? They were just brief mentions about Wolverine, and then they just pitched the idea to Sony, and they were like, say no more, make the game. Now, before I get into the PlayStation blog and discuss this, I do want to mention that since this is an Insomniac Games property, just like Marvel Spider-Man and Marvel Spider-Man 2, there's a possibility of these games being connected. However, they are, and I can say with 100% certainty, that they're standalone games. I even texted Evan Falarker about it, and he said even he doesn't know if they're connected. So, I'll direct your attention to the PlayStation vlog, and then we will discuss. In my nearly 18 years of working at Insomniac Games, wow, has it really been that long? One of the things I've always appreciated about the studio is how it truly values and fosters collaborations. When we work together, and more importantly, when we listen to each other, the end result is always better. The approach even applies when we work with those outside the studio, as it's been such a pleasure to collaborate with Marvel Games, learning from and sharing with these true believers as we created games such as Marvel Spider-Man and Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales has been a career highlight for many of us. And what's so exciting is that our collaboration isn't ending anytime soon, as today we revealed not one, but two new Marvel titles coming from Insomniac Games, Marvel Spider-Man 2 and Marvel's Wolverine. Let's start with the one most of you probably could have guessed, Marvel Spider-Man 2. We're so thrilled to continue the journey of both Peter Parker and Miles Morales in their most epic single-player adventure yet, coming exclusively to PlayStation 5 consoles in 2023. That's one thing I really wanted to point out. I seem to have recalled making a video about how Marvel Spider-Man 2 should launch in 2023. Well, I actually went back to that video and retitled it, so I'll leave an annotation of that video at the end of this one so you can all check it out later. And it's a PS5 exclusive. Hopefully some of you who haven't had any luck snagging a PS5, you'll have at least 2 years to do so before this game comes out. I'm wishing you all the best of luck. Comment down below if you happen to buy one. While pushing the capabilities of the console will be very exciting, we're equally pumped to craft all new stories for Peter and Miles in this sequel. Just as our previous Spider-Man games, we not only want to tell a great superhero story, but also deliver a compelling human story, one full of heart and humor that dives deep into the people behind the masks. Much of the development team that brought you Marvel Spider-Man is returning to produce Marvel Spider-Man 2, including Brian Intihar, creative director, and Ryan Smith, game director. Today's game footage trailer is merely just a glimpse at what's in store in terms of the new abilities our heroes will acquire, suits they will wear, more on that some other time, and of course the villains that will try to hunt them down. And speaking of villains, did you catch that final line at the end of the trailer? I know I mentioned this in my last video, but this is still part of this one, so you guys gotta hear this just in case you didn't catch it. We're so happy to announce that Tony Todd of Candyman fame will be voicing the symbiote-fueled Venom in Marvel Spider-Man 2. We're also delighted to welcome back Yuri Lowenthal and Najee Jeter, who will reprise their roles as Peter and Miles respectively. We've been fortunate to work with so many incredibly talented actors in our Spider-Man games, and Tony has been such a wonderful addition to the cast. Now let's talk about the announcement you probably weren't expecting, Marvel's Wolverine. Back when we were working on Marvel Spider-Man, there would be times where all of us, Insomniac, Sony Interactive Entertainment, and Marvel, would brainstorm together about the future beyond the web slinger. And even in those early discussions, Wolverine continually came up as the character we'd be really stoked to work on together. Fast forward a couple years and we're suddenly standing in front of Sony Interactive Entertainment and Marvel formally pitching a PlayStation 5 game starring the adamantium claw mutant. Since you just saw the announced teaser, we can confirm that the pitch seemed to go pretty well, jokingly he added. So many of the Insomniac teams are such huge fans of the character, and one of the key elements that drew us to him is surprisingly not different from Spider-Man. Both heroes feel deeply compelled to defend people who are less able to do so. So Marvel's Wolverine is a standalone game being directed by Brian Horton, creative director, and Cameron Christian, game director, who recently led the creative efforts on Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, a game we're extremely proud of at Insomniac. In the vein of our Spider-Man games, our goal here is to not only respect the DNA of what makes the character so popular, but also look for opportunities to make it feel fresh and truly reflect the Insomniac spirit. Even though Marvel's Wolverine is very early in development, from what I've seen of its emotional narrative and cutting-edge gameplay, see what I did there? The team is already creating something truly special. Being able to build on a new, original universe with Spider-Man and now Wolverine is such an honor for so many of us at Insomniac Games. A huge thanks to our Sony Interactive Entertainment family for giving us the opportunity to develop these games, Marvel for trusting us with those characters that mean so much to so many people, and of course, our fans for continuing to believe in us. And that we do, you guys at Insomniac. In Insomniac Games, we trust indeed. I don't think PlayStation could have asked a better game development studio to create better stories with beloved characters that we grew up on and admired for the longest time. I'm thinking Wolverine is going to lean towards more of a linear, narrative-driven kind of story rather than an open world. Perhaps the best comparison I can make to this, and I'm calling it now, Wolverine is going to have a linear narrative path similar to that of The Last of Us. I'll be totally fine with that. As for the connection that both Marvel Spider-Man and Wolverine have, I'm uncertain. They may be in the same universe, but I highly doubt they're connected. It'd be crazy if we saw a post-credit scene with Wolverine and Spidey meeting up, but the likelihood of something like that happening is low because of the setting in Marvel's Wolverine. From the looks of the trailer, it may take place somewhere in Quebec, Canada, only because of a Canadian license plate at the bar is on full display. You might miss it if you blink, but if you pause the trailer, it's located on the right side of the bar.
And if you look even more carefully, you notice that the license plate lettering is in green and it reads HLK 181. And that is short for the Incredible Hulk number 181, Wolverine's very first appearance in the comics.
Aside from that, no connection so far. And as far as who could be voicing the character of Wolverine, I'm betting that Steve Blum is more than likely and more than willingly to return to the role of Wolverine. I know that's one of his favorite roles, and he is for sure the most definitive person to voice Wolverine moving forward. All future games, shows, movies, whatever that feature the Wolverine character should be voiced none other than Steve Blum himself. The guy is extremely talented. I actually had the pleasure of meeting him at a con at one point, and he actually discussed about how he loved playing his characters, especially Wolverine, which I'm also a fan of. He even played Wolverine in that Wolverine vs. Hulk movie. If you guys didn't see it, go ahead and check it out. Also, it'll be exciting if Insomniac Games really builds up an MGU or Marvel Gaming Universe. Anyways, that's all I got really for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on that bell notification so y'all don't miss anything. And as always, I will see you all in the next comic panel.
Yet all I found is disappointment. Will one of you finally give me what I desire?
PlayStation